From New York City, it's the Wendy Williams Show.
How you doing? The kids have come to play today. You won't believe what I'm about to tell you. With all due respect, have several seats. My girls are always turned out. I give it to you straight, no chaser.
Now, here's Wendy.
Here we go again. Yes! Thank you for watching our show. And say hello to my co-host, my studio audience. I'm doing great. Let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. Come on. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody have a seat. I'm really excited to be here with you today. My friend Zachary Levi is returning to the show today. What I love about Zachary is that he's handsome, he's tall, and he's really talented. He's starring in the Broadway musical She Loves Me. Plus, I've never met Marla Maples, but certainly I can't wait to meet her today. You know, we're gonna talk about her experience on Dancing with the Stars, Donald Trump, and a whole lot more. So, good show. So, the next season of The Voice has started filming, and there's already drama behind the scenes. See, I don't like this, because I think, like, as TV watchers, don't we all want to believe that all of the co-workers on whatever show we love to watch get along? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, when I watch The View, I want to know that Raven and Michelle are over at Whoopi's house eating, you know, smothered pork chops and gravy. I want to know that in my head. And when I watch The Voice, I do want to know that Adam is getting along with Miley Cyrus, especially because he's old enough to be her father, practically. I mean, you know, if he got started at 13. But Adam reportedly is feuding with the new coach, Miley. Now, remember, this past season of The Voice, Miley was a mentor, but she got bumped up to being a judge. So she's gonna be sitting in one of the chairs that turns around. And they're in the process of filming the chair turnaround thing. Well, apparently, Adam, who's 37, and Miley, who's only 23, okay? Listen, Adam apparently, allegedly, is finding Miley to be annoying and doesn't like the fact that she's seen as the bigger star out of the two of them on the show. See, I don't want to know this from a grown, seasoned man who's been around for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, we can't let these kids think they're winning. Adam, and you know what I mean? Like, but, you know, here's the deal, Adam. Miley is annoying in my mind. But she's not mean. Notice I said annoying, not mean girl. You know, she's not pulling stunts and whatnot. Miley is also talented as a singer and an actress and somebody who's able to seduce the world, regardless of what she does, to liking her. And she does that all while being super pretty. And I think that, like with Miley Cyrus, you don't look at pretty first. With Adam Levine, I think that women look at pretty first. I don't, you know, I mean, you know, the music and whatnot, okay, fine. But Miley's music is so more relevant. Does that make sense? And Miley was hired, Adam, to do a job, and I don't believe she should tame herself because you, a man old enough to be her father, are jealous, allegedly. I mean, And the drama, Adam, understand what I'm saying. The drama behind the scenes can hurt the show. Because for people like me, I don't want to know that you all are fighting. I mean, look what happened with American Idol. That's pretty much when it jumped the shark in a big way. When Mariah and Nicki Minaj came on, and then Idol kind of fueled, they stoked the fires, and the girls took the bait, and now what were we watching? We were watching 4 judges that, and Ryan, that two of them can't stand each other. I bet you our friend over here, Randy, was on Mariah's side because that's his former manager, and Keith Urban's just happy. To be out of the house, according to what I read. Anyway, in conclusion, The Voice, Miley is the biggest star in the chair. Be very clear. She's the most relevant judge that I think that they've ever had in terms of all across the board and all around the world. Adam, I mean, I know you have the group Maroon 5. And people know who you are, but Miley's bigger. Gwen, I know that you sing and I know that you sew clothes, but there's something more relevant about Miley. And who's the other judge?
Christina and Blake.
Christina who?
Aguilera.
Oh. Sorry, Christina, I didn't mean it. I'm just saying, and Blake, I just feel like Miley overall across the music spectrum, Miley has got, she's the star of this show, and also, she's what the show needs, you all. I mean, you want younger viewers. And that's Miley. Chris Brown is speaking out about his assaulting Rihanna back in 2009. Well, by the way, he looks like Miguel with that permed hair, doesn't he? Okay, first of all, there's a trailer in a new documentary, and it was released. So you take a look, and then we'll chat.
I went from being on top of the world, #1 songs, and being kind of like America's sweetheart to being Public Enemy #1.
According to sources, the alleged fight...
Grammy Award nominee has just posted bail on criminal threat charges.
But it is the first time I get to say anything.
He made that mistake because he needed help.
Yeah, that was his girl.
I felt like a monster. I was thinking about suicide and everything else. I wasn't sleeping, I barely ate, I just was getting hot. There was ever doubt in your mind, Chris Brown was done, he was finished. I wouldn't bet on.
So this documentary was shot by a producer that none of us, in the Hot Topics Bureau know about. But, and I don't know whether it's going to be in the movies or whether it's going to be on TV. Now, if it was in the movies, I would still go. And I would probably stay even until the last 15 minutes. But if it's done on TV, it'd be more convenient. I mean, we'll never let him forget about Rihanna. But sometimes, instead of just continually talking about something, your actions show if you're doing better. Like, don't hit women. Be a good father to Royal Reign. Royalty. Good morning, little Kim. That's your bunchkin's name, Royal Reign. How you doing, Kim? Sorry. You be a good father to Royal Reign and stop, outlashing and stuff. And I have no idea how much of this documentary actually includes the Rihanna conversation, but he's trying to make us feel sorry for him, and it's really difficult to feel sorry for a pop star who beat, a beloved other pop star and threw a boulder through his mom's windshield while all she was trying to do is make sure that this is Hot Topics 2 years ago, you all. threw a boulder through the windshield, and he's just a lasher outer, on one hand. On the other hand, I got a piece of compassion. You know, he saw his mom allegedly get beat up, you know, when he was younger, you know, at the hands of being abused. And I guess he does not have the home training that makes him a better person as a pop star and a young man with millions of dollars. Will you watch this documentary if it's in the movie theater and you have to get in your car and go? Clap if you will. Yeah, I'm interested. Suzanne, I like your stands.
Thank you.
What do you want to roll?
Yes,
Shoe shopping?
I've become a sneakerhead. I've got 2 pairs now.
Now you have the orange ones, and now you got those.
And all the young girls are wearing me.
All the young girls,
and guys.
all the young girls wear those.
Yep.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
So, you know, back when I was playing clarinet at the Ocean Township High School Band, and I had the big, you know, hat and, you know, that uniform, similar to like what Michael Jackson wore with all the, like a band uniform. I complained to my dad that my feet were hurting, you know, marching and trying to play.
Yeah.
And I begged them to please get me some Stan Smiths. And they were very expensive at the time. Like, you know, no, people don't, you know, my parents were PF Flyers or something like that, you know. But my mom and dad treated me to a pair of Stan Smiths, so I had my first pair back when I was in high school.
They'd be good for marching.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for noticing.
Yes, yes.
They're comfy.
Yes. Everything old is new again.
Uh-huh.
So David Hasselhoff, I'm on your side, and not because you're a friend of the show, but because I'm a straight shooter. Pow-pow. Well, he's sick of supporting his ex-wife, Catherine Bach. Now, Catherine is 52. Oh, Pamela? Who's Catherine Bach? Daisy Duke.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Pamela Bach. Well, she's 52, and she and David have been divorced for 10 years. 17 years.
They were married for 17
They were married
years.
for 17 years. All right, don't try to trip me up. They've been divorced for 10 years. They were married for 17 years. They've got 2 daughters. The daughters are now grown, like over 21, and they live with dad, I guess, at the compound. In the meantime, dad is now 63 years old, and he's looking to slow down in life. Like, you shouldn't have to hustle for $1 after your 60s. You should be able to do what you want to do if you plan it right, you know what I mean? So apparently he's planned it right, but he wants to go back to court to adjust her spousal support. Because, you know, she chose to stay single for these 10 years. You know, that spousal support was good money. $21,000 per month. For 10 years, you do the math. She looks a little older than 52. Yeah. Moisturize. Anyway, so he's paid almost $2.5 million over the past 10 years. And he says that Pamela should be able to work. Well, at first, because I thought she was a little older, I said, well, why should she have to work, you know? But at 52, Pamela, it's time to get some sort of job. A nail tech. A paramedic. One of those people who calls up telemarketers. Like, it's time to do something, because I agree with David. I think that after a certain amount of time, or spousal support should be adjusted based on whether your man or your wife, depending on who's paying you, is not making the kind of money that they used to make. But what I would also do, Pamela, is I would keep a tail on him constantly. Like, David, if we go to court and we adjust this support, and now you're gonna give me only $8,000 a month, then do me a favor, have a few things in mind. First of all, I took off 10 years of my career. Now, this is a girl, she was on the soap operas. She's also done Broadway, correct?
Yep.
She's done some Broadway. You know, not a huge actress, but I knew the name Pamela Bach. And so, you know, I feel like she took off 10 years of her life to raise their daughters. And one of them was here on the show, lovely girl, but raised their daughters. So she gave up, ladies, you know what I'm saying? Between 42 and 52 years old, I'm not saying life is over in your 50s, but I'm saying those are some prime years for working and, you know? And there's no telling how the kids would be raised if mom wasn't there all the time giving up her craft to help out. But I would always have a tail on him. Like, I would. Like, don't try to sneak, because, you know, a lot of actors do this. You know, they go over, like, to Europe and stuff, and they cut, you know, beer commercials and perfume commercials, and then they come back to the States and think that they're hiding something. David, don't try to be sneaky about this, but I am on your side. I feel at 63 years old, I understand that you want to slow down, and Pamela should understand that as well. Does that make sense? Okay. Oh! Funny thing about being live on TV is that, you know, sometimes we get people to respond during the show. Like, remember yesterday we brought out the board and I was trying to explain to Bette Midler with the pointer about how Tyga and the rest of them, you know, all get along. So halfway through our show, it's like 10:30 in New York time, Bette calls up the bureau and says, please make sure you have my address correct. No, I really do need that board that you were explaining. Yes, that. Bet, you know, you're my kind of girl. Why don't you ever come here? Like, do you remember you invited me for dinner? It was a big soiree. I was just one of the many people. But remember you invited me for dinner and I had a great time. And I used to work with this DJ, Fast Freddie Cologne. He used to, that was his name. And so Fast Freddie used to say to me all the time, he's like, you're the young black Bette Midler. And that was back when I was like 23 years old. So it's so funny now, Bette. You know, I'm entertaining you and you're watching and you're still funny. Let's be friends. Yeah. Oh. There's more drama at Tidal. And I smell lawsuits flying every place. Now, you know, Tidal is that thing, like Spotify. We Spotify. We don't Tidal. At home or even here at the studio. Nope. Which is why we never listened to the Kanye album until it was mass released. We don't need another bill over here, okay? Anyway, Rihanna reportedly is upset and embarrassed at the way Tidal handled themselves in the release of her album, Anti. Now, Anti is her most recent release, and you know, she is one of the shareholders in Tidal. So, for her to turn against Tidal is like her cutting off her own money or whatnot. Anyway, she's even throwing shade at Tidal by telling fans to buy her album, Anti, on iTunes instead. That's the competition. Like you don't do that. Now, I would think that, okay, you know, she's young and, you know, she doesn't... I would think in the paperwork, when she signs off to be a partner, that they would have her locked down so she can't do something like this. Then again, normally, when you're part owner of a company, your first thought isn't that, you know, one of your shareholders is going to turn against the company. But she's turned against the company. So on Tidal, though, she only sold 460 copies of her album. 460. 400. To make matters worse, Tidal, and oh, by the way, when she put it on the other thing, the other service.
All the other platforms.
The other service, then that's when she was able to sell a whole lot more. So in other words, Tidal did nothing for her album sales. Likewise with Kanye. Kanye is being, Tidal and Kanye are being sued for millions of dollars by this guy out in LA, and he's claiming that people were tricked into buying the Tidal service. Number one, because Kanye promised his album was only gonna be available exclusively at Tidal and nowhere else. Do you follow what I'm saying? So then now here goes Kanye, you know, on his social media, saying that, you know, the album is now, well, here he is. My album will never, never, never be on Apple, yada, yada, yada. Only on Tidal. So there's the receipt. but now his album is available every place. So the guy in California who's doing the sue because he was forced to order Tidal to get Kanye's album, but now it's available every place, so now he's got an extra bill. He's trying to get you, John Q. Public, to join in on this lawsuit. And if I were you, I'd get down on it. This seems like a no-brainer in the judicial system. You know, he said it's only gonna be available at Tidal, but now it's available every place. What a mess.